So I'm a physician. I trained in primary care, and I realized in practicing about 20 years ago that the way we were doing healthcare in the US was, I think we call it hitting the wall, that it was not sustainable. And that the thing that was the problem is that we had built the whole system on the basis of transactions. Everything was transactional. And the goal of the system seemed to be to just do more things to people, whether they needed it or not, or wanted it or not. And I said, what if we change the system to actually improve people's health and to base it on relationships? And maybe we could do something different. So I will tell one quick story, if you don't mind. So we had a patient in one of our first practices in a place called Atlantic City, New Jersey. And she was when she walked in, the health coach said, "Doctor, this patient is a hot mess." She's like not doing well. Her hair was disheveled. She had diabetes and high blood pressure not in control, was going to the emergency room every week, not taking her medicines. So we hooked her up into this model, and she started meeting other patients and meeting a health coach. And what happened is I left the practice to start our second one. So 6 months later, I came back, and the doctor said, "Remember that patient came in the first day who was a hot mess? She's back. I want you to meet her." So I come in, and I don't recognize her because she looks so good. She has this glint in her eyes. She's back to work. No emergency room visits, taking her medicines, diabetes and blood sugar under control, blood pressure under control. Her name was Joyce. I said, "Joyce, you look amazing." She said, "I've never felt better in my life." I said, "What have we done to help you?" And she said something very profound. She said, "You all cared about me. You taught me to care about myself, and I didn't want to let any of us down. You cared about me. You taught me to care about myself. I didn't want to let any of us down." Right? That's what we do. We build a relationship. We get the patient on our side, and now we have the permission to navigate the system and have them do all sorts of other things. The other problem is that this doesn't happen when you snap your fingers. Remember, what we're trying to do is lower healthcare costs, not by saying no, but by actually improving people's health. But that requires you build the relationship, you get people to trust you, they change their behavior, that leads to better health, that leads to not going to the hospital in the emergency room, that lowers costs. That doesn't happen overnight. It takes about a year or two, not 10 years, but a year or two. So you need to have patience. Why is primary care so important? Because primary care can help people with all those things, which I call upstream, right? How you eat, how you move. And then we can also help people with the downstream, help them navigate to the right specialist, the right hospital. And so we can do all of that from this little lever point, right? So that's what we do. So we work with the Blue Zone folks. We try when we're in a market, we try to then engage to how do we do things in this market, advocate for better walking trails, advocate for better food in the grocery, make deals with grocery stores to help people have healthier, label the food as healthy or not healthy, those sorts of things. So I think it's a great question that changing lifestyle, which is something I bet which never happened in the U.S. Doctors didn't think that was their job, right? But it is your job. If our job is to improve people's health, if we aren't helping people with their lifestyle, we're wasting our time. I have a population of people, and I know exactly who they are, and they are my problem. And I'm going to improve their health, keep them out of trouble, do whatever it takes. So one thing we do is we build a team around that doctor, right? So I talk about part of our job is helping people with lifestyle. That's not a good job for a doctor, right? We're too expensive. That's not what we're trained in. And to be honest, we're not that nice, right? What we want is we hire these people who are good at this, and we can train them to do it, to hold their hand when that's the right thing to do, to kick him in the behind when it's the right thing to do. We start each day off with a huddle where we sit around a table and we talk about our patients. Not necessarily the ones who are coming in, but the ones that we're worried about that might need us to reach out to them. Again, we don't just wait for people to come in. We will reach out to people. Now, how do we know that? We get notification remember where we partner with the hospital. So we get a notice if any of our patients are in the hospital or came to the emergency room. and in the morning, and then we'll reach out to them and see how they're doing and check up on them. We'll go talk to the hospital doctor, let them know that we're paying attention and how can we help you and help them with it. We use a lot of digital health. So we think it's silly in 2024 to only interact in person. So we have apps that people can track their blood sugar and their blood pressure. We can email and text them and WhatsApp them. We can video chat with them. We also get a lot of this about chronic care management. So we get patients into, we call them clubs, groups of patients together to help teach them about their condition. Remember, we need to help them learn about their condition and help support each other.